Welcome back. This Off the Bench Global. This is part two of the conversation we had with Defiant. Again, we want to appreciate everything that you're doing as far as staying focused with us. If you have not watched part one, go back and watch part one of the session. This is a forum actually. We making sure that you guys communicating with us, and we really appreciate everything that you're doing to staying focused. Make sure that you guys tune in to part one, and this is part two. Yeah, we have a question.
All right, well, first of all, thanks Off the Bench for having us.
For sure.
Let me just give you a background of what I've been going through and how I started. So basically, before COVID-19 started, I was working full-time as a access control specialist.
Okay.
And a CCT security alarm specialist. I traveled up and down north installing highway CCTVs for like toll booths and commercial buildings and banks. But I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
It was a career that I've been doing since basically I got out of high school, and I was just like, you know what, I just want to do what I love, and I started picking up with my videography business. I started capitalizing. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick up my camera and actually, start doing things with it.
Okay. Yeah.
And this was like probably a couple of months before COVID-19 really hit, and I didn't expect it to hit.
Right. Right.
I didn't. I wasn't approved for unemployment or any of that because something happened where I quit my job before January. It was something weird. Yeah. I wasn't eligible to get it. So I really had to hustle. 2020 really took the hustle out of me.
Okay.
And that's one thing I'm grateful for. But it's been a lot of up and downs. It's a roller coaster. One thing, I've lost probably like 8 people in my life.
Man.
Close friends and family
either
due to drug abuse or gun violence.
Wow.
Yeah. And probably last week when I was probably like at my most like bottom like self. I can't explain it. So like I suffer with anxiety.
Okay.
It didn't really start getting worse until it didn't really start getting bad until I got older.
Okay.
I was able to live through it throughout my whole life, and I was always really well with coping with things. But just last week, everything was just happening so quick, and like it was just every time when something bad happened, something good happens.
Okay.
And it was just my mind just didn't know how to take it. Like, and I've always done so well with coping with things, but last week everything turned like. Usually when I go through my episodes, I usually probably feel really stressed or like I'm really anxious. My heart's beating really fast. I'm pacing up and down.
Right.
But last week it was more like I'm just exhausted.
Yeah.
Like so many things have just happened.
Right.
I don't know what to do, and that was probably like one of the first times where I didn't know how to cope.
Right. Yeah.
The things that was going around me. So I guess my question is, when you're at a standstill spot that you probably never experienced before because you've just been so strong for so long.
Right.
Well, what are some ways where you can just pretty much gravitate towards those things, even though when it's a roller coaster going on, like everything, when something bad happens, something good happens.
Right.
You just don't know how to take it.
Right.
You
want to answer that, or you want?
I mean, I definitely can relate. And everybody's experience is different. Devastation comes in many forms, and what's difficult for me might be, something you can handle.
Right.
So if I tell you what I'm dealing with, you might not necessarily see how it's a struggle for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, situations where as people, we almost suffer silently a lot of times. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah.
And I think one thing is, kind of the outlet. I think the outlet is key, having somebody who may not know what you're going through, but is open and willing to kind of communicate and allow you to kind of let it out. You know what I'm saying? You were saying with therapy. Therapy, I haven't had much experience with therapy. I have had some. And one thing I know for sure is there's people that's in your life that you can't really rely on for that. You know what I mean? You got friends, you got family, and sometimes it seems like they should be there for you during these times, but in a lot of cases, you never know if they're able to handle that or if they know what to do when you hand them all of that. You know what I mean? So I see how therapy can be effective because here it is, this other person who's willing, who's experienced, who's professional,
Right.
and they have that time and that open ear to just let you just, get it off. And for real, I guess sometimes I think what happens when you deal with other people and you do that, they kind of try to give you solutions that you're not really there for. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to fix the problem for you as you let it out and you say, all right, I'm dealing with this. Oh, you should just do that. You know what I mean? And it becomes more of an issue than, than this. I won't say then you dealing with it on your own, but it creates a tension between you and that person.
Right.
So I definitely feel like an outlet is important. However, who the outlet is also equally important. And making sure that they up front are able and willing and equipped to deal with the stress and the torment that you personally are dealing with as well. Like I said, we all have different strengths. We all have different, like you said, you've been strong for so long. Your strength is in a specific area. You know what I mean? Another person's strength might not be in that area, so where they see you being strong at, they might not even notice that. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of the issue is us internalizing all of this on our own, and almost like we're carrying the weight on our own, like you were saying, behind closed doors.
Right.
The pain that you're experiencing is weight. The weight is heavy.
Right.
And when it comes to anxiety, and things of that nature, it's purely mental.
Yes.
It's purely mental. I heard somebody say something about anxiety. He said anxiety is excitement without the breath.
Right.
When we get in our head a lot, that energy that's kind of moving up into our brain is moving away from other elements of our body, our lungs, our heart. The attention is kind of moving away from all of that and kind of coming up here. And here's where the suffering kind of takes place at that point, because, our mobility kind of slows down. You're tired, so you're not moving as much. You're dwelling on your thoughts, so you're not focusing on other areas of your physical health as much. Your breathing, your diet, that kind of stuff. So I feel like a lot of it is how, we get trapped into this internal bubble by ourselves, and then our thoughts are just kind of whooping us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's a major element of it to me. Is like it's kind of like it gets locked in your head, and then you just kind of in this ring inside your mind, going at it and just suffering. Like, what's your take on what it is?
Well, I want to first thank Off the Bench Global for hanging in here this long. I know normally we don't go this long, but this is definitely a forum that's important right now with a lot of things that unrest.
Mm-hmm.
This is what unrest is.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, Gabe, it's important that we understand first that nothing is wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's wrong with you. We want to make sure that we understand, like something that I said on a podcast before, is like someone getting stuck in the snow in the car. Once you're stuck in the snow, everybody come out and say, you should have turned this way. You should have did this. You should have turned this way. So everybody have an opinion about what you should do and what you need to do. And this is why, we want to make sure that we don't have the spirit of competition where we're just trying to compete with something, and that causes anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're feeling like I should be in this space, ahead of where I should be right now. Because a lot of people can make things look good on social media, and it's not the reality. They're not living that in that lifestyle. They're not, they're putting on for the city, as I call it. But we want to make sure that one, when you were in high school, if you worked at a fast food restaurant, and some people that may be their career job, but you're saying to yourself, I want to do more. So as you got older, you changed your career, right? Mm-hmm. You changed your career, so that means that you reevaluated yourself. That means that you got to reevaluate your friends as time goes on. don't keep the same situation around you because it can cause you harm, mentally. Because iron sharpens iron, like we always said. So we want to make sure that, moving forward, you got to move forward, and that's the thing. So don't ever think that there's something wrong with you because of what you're facing or whatever. Because everybody that do strength training, when it comes to weights, they may need a spotter, to lift that weight. But once you get used to that weight, it becomes routine for you. It becomes natural to you. I can lift this. It's making me stronger. When you actually go up on weight, then you may need another spotter, but you're continuing to go up. So you just got to make sure for yourself, number one, nothing wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to get stronger. That's period. So the anxiety that you have, just control the anxiety by being okay with communicating with someone that's like-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Trust God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I want to speak to what you said about, losing people in your life. Like, that's one of those things, like, who knows how that's going to affect you. You know what I mean? And however that affects you, man, I agree with what you said, bro. There's nothing wrong with you. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, however that affects you, you know what I'm saying? Healing requires a process, and we can't rush that. We can't rush that process. Who knows how long it's going to take for, the grief of a loved one to kind of go away, if it ever does. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things, bro. You just got to take time and be patient with yourself, Self-care is the key, and sometimes that's just a matter of being patient. You know what I'm saying? Like, sitting still for a while, whatever emotions or feelings kind of pass through. And so when we, it's one thing, we don't like to feel sad. We don't like to be down. We don't like to be hurt. We don't like to be sick. But all of that's got a purpose. You know what I mean? Like, when I was sick, like I was saying earlier in the year, I had to sit still. And I understood the purpose of that. You know what I mean? Like, I understood the benefit of that. I understood how if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be sitting still. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true. That's true.
So it's like that's kind of like every gift has a curse. Every curse has a gift. You know what I mean? Like, those life-changing moments really open up doors that we really just can't see. And the number one reason we can't see it is because we're focusing on the door that just closed. You know what I mean? But I just know that one thing to recognize and acknowledge is that this too shall pass. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the most beautiful moment right now. It's not the prettiest sight right now, but I think that one concept, that one thought, this too shall pass.
Right,
even when things are all the way up, you know what I mean?
Right.
Even when it's going exactly how you want, like you said, some things that's going bad, how they affect you, and then there's other things that's going good, and how do you kind of handle it all? I think the mentality of this too shall pass really is the way to deal with both. Yeah. Because in the moment where you get the greatest gift, and you feel kind of like overjoyed about it, you still got to maintain in your mind that this don't last forever. You know what I mean?
Correct.
That understanding is a powerful thing because it allows you to kind of tap into reality and tap into self-awareness and really stabilize yourself. Because, that's the thing. It's like, it's this swing. It's like these extremes. You're going from hot to extremely cold to extremely hot. But there's something about being in that warm space, you know what I mean? Even when it's really hot, even when it's really cold, kind of being in that stable setting of like, not getting too caught up, detaching, I guess.
Yeah.
Detaching.
And but the thing is, again, thank you guys for holding on with us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like to the point where like, with you, Gabe, taking on the stresses as far as even with this business, with Defiant, Defiant have done some some great things,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and to the point where it probably didn't blow your mind. You knew your expectations was to do great.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I want you to speak about that balance as far as what Defiant, why Defiant,
Uh-huh.
you know, why is the name Defiant, and what have Defiant done for you, and what have Defiant done, you know, business wise. I've seen a lot of artists, you know, on your social media, you know, come through, and the relationship is great.
Yeah.
And I know that could cause a lot of stress and pressure, you know, as far as what you're doing and what you feel like you're accomplishing.
Yeah. So the name. So me and Lan talked about the studio months before it even got to the point of like coming up with a name. At some point, we realized we gotta pick a name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he sent me like this list of like, I think it was like 15 names.
Yeah.
And the three that stood out of the three that stood out, one of them was Defiant. And then, you know, I just kind of eliminated a lot of the ones that I felt like, you know, weren't the fit. And he just stood on Defiant. And when I saw it, it was like Defiant Recording Studio. I'm like, I like that. There was only one reason why I didn't like it, but it wasn't that I didn't like it. It's just that I just kind of, you know, was once I realized, okay, the name kind of is a little familiar, I started looking at other options, but I didn't eliminate it as one of the ones that I like. I told him I still liked it, so he stood on Defiant. And the more that I thought about it, once he picked it, once he stood on it, I thought about how much sense it made.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all about unique. You know, it's like out of all the studios here, and there's a lot.
Right. Yeah.
This one is Defiant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what that means, and you know what that stands for, and also at the same time, you know, from a personal standpoint, you know, we looking for people who are defiant. Clients. We want defiant clients. We want defiant staff. We want, you know what I mean?
Yes, I'm with you.
So it just made the most sense. What we've done so far, man, I want to say, and not even from a bragging or arrogant point of view, we really have raised the bar when it comes to the music scene in Richmond and in Virginia, and that's just being for real, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's been a lot going on here, but I really feel like this really was groundbreaking. And even as it had, bro, I heard this quote one time. This lady said on this documentary I was watching, she said, "You never know when you're making history.
Yeah.
You never know when you're making history." But one of these things, like when I'm watching Defiant, in my mind, I'm like, bro, we making history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This really is.
This is it.
History in the making.
Yeah.
I'm witnessing. I know it is, and it's not even not from an arrogant standpoint.
Yeah.
Not because I'm involved. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I wasn't involved, and I speak to a lot of people who come to me and they're like, "Bruh, I don't think I know what y'all doing." You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying we don't know what we're doing, but they're basically saying like, y'all really are doing something major right now.
Right.
I just don't think y'all realize it.
Yeah.
You know, I embrace that kind of communication because at the end of the day, I understand where they're coming from when they say that, and it's also confirmation. I don't really. It's not like it makes me feel a certain way.
Yeah.
It's really just confirmation for me. It's not like it changes how I feel. I just respect the fact that they actually are genuine enough to express that and to say that, because I know why they're saying it.
Right.
And well, I forgot what the other part of it was.
But you know what's so interesting though is the fact that it's okay for you to say it's not coming from an arrogant side, you know, period. Because you want more.
Yeah.
You know, you want more, and the more that you want is to help more people.
Yeah.
You know, and you talking about, you know, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms that you showed me, right? And all of them full. You know, and you're looking for more space.
Right.
You know? And it's just to help people communicate.
Yeah.
And the communication with the people with Defiant, shoot. I talked to you when you said, Curtis, I can't believe that you're calling me right now. I'm walking around Atlanta and don't know what I'm doing because mentally you was like in a space, and we had a conversation, and I gave you an answer that you was actually walking around trying to find.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So it's so many different times that me and you have a conversation, and it's not to toot our own horn, but it's more so that that balance.
Yeah.
So question.
Yes. First of all, thank you, Off the Bench Global. My name is Jalen Taylor. I'm just having a question. So listening to Gabe talk about his purpose, his plan, and his passion.
Mm-hmm.
For someone like me who doesn't necessarily know what their passion is, there's a mental toll that it takes. Like hearing somebody about their passion, and you could allow it to cause envy because you're like, dang, I wish I was so passionate about that, like about a dream, about something. So how do I deal with the mental aspect of trying to fight the envy or jealousy, seeing someone have so much energy and passion about something, knowing I don't have mine? How do I deal with that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I wanted to, all right. You know what? What it is so this is what it is. It resonates with you. The only negative side of it is that it resonates with you in a way that you want to make a change, or you want to make a move, and there's something that's holding you back. So what it does is it speaks to a resistance that's within you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've learned to look at things this way. I am. You know what I'm saying? My most recent mantra that has kind of led me down this path is I am. Mm-hmm. I am everything that's around me. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, these things wouldn't be around me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm around somebody and I feel like they're annoying, I am annoying. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If I'm around somebody and I feel like they're smart, I am smart.
Right.
If I'm around somebody and they are doing something that's great, I am great. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be around them. They wouldn't be around me if we weren't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about it. There's millions of billions of people on this planet. You only touch so many.
Yeah.
And it's rare that you even interact or touch any of them, but we live in this domain of attraction. You know what I'm saying? Like, people always talk about the laws of attraction. The universe is electromagnetic, period. So what that means is you are energy and you attract other energetic beings, other energetic forms. So when you see something that's great, you got to realize you're a part of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that person doing that thing. It's you kind of getting foresight into where you're headed. You know what I'm saying? You're just not there yet. And it's not that what they're doing is against you. It's just speaking to a resistance that's within you because you know for yourself you got the same thing in you. You know what I mean? So it's almost like an awakening. All right, it's like this. He over here sleep. We got somewhere to be. I come wake him up. How you think he gonna feel when he wake up? He gonna be annoyed. You know what I'm saying? He not gonna feel too good when I wake him up. Mm-hmm. Not until he get up and he start moving. You know what I'm saying? It's an awakening is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not nothing that you gotta do or change. It's just a realization. You're just being awakened by somebody that's like-minded. That's why you feel that way. You know what I'm saying? We just don't see it that way. Mm-hmm. It's called hate. Right, it's called envy. Right. We don't want to be called these things. We don't want to be looked at it. But that's what it is. Yeah. And it's okay because I can relate. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't see myself as a hater, but there's plenty of things that I look at and I hate on it. Right. And it's a misunderstanding of what the other thing is, and it's a misunderstanding of who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where I'm at the point where it's like I am. Yeah. That is acceptance. That removes resistance. You know what I mean? Like to accept it is to be a part of it, which you're a part of everything. You in the world. We're in the planet. We're under the sun. We look at the same sun, the same moon.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
We're not separated by nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, air is between me and you, but we're not really separated by that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that's separated. We're the same. We just don't realize we're the same. We think we're different. We think we're separate. We think, but we not really are. You know what I'm saying? It's just an understanding. So what happens is when you see that, when you feel like that, that's just energy. You might look at it as negative energy, but it's energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's for you. You could resist it, which is hate on it, envy it, all those other things that come out to be negative, or you can embrace it, accept it, which is realizing that it's you, and that you got the same power with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just showing you your power. To refute it means that you're not ready to embrace it and use it. But at any point, at any moment, you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, accept it. Accept who you are. Accept what you see. Accept where you are and what's around you as you. Accept it as it's you. In order to accept it, you have to identify with it as if it's you. That's what acceptance is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And that's a powerful question, Jay.
not for real.
Because what makes it powerful is the fact that it takes a powerful person to even ask a question. You know, what formed that question? You know, what brought you to that place to even ask that question? Because a lot of times people don't know how to even ask a question, or they're not humble enough to even ask a question. And that's what causes them to battle, you know, the mind warring with the spirit. You know, you're actually having a battle within yourself because you're not you're dealing with a spirit of competition where you're trying to birth something, but at the same time you're restraining that birth. You know, and what I mean by that is you take a real quick, you take a woman, you know, who's pregnant, right? One of the things that a woman does is a woman tries to make sure that she eats right, because not only is she's nurturing something that's inside of her physically, but mentally as well. So she want to make sure that she eats right. So if she's eating right, when she birthed that child out, that child is still eating from her. You know, you're still nurturing that child. So whatever you do, whatever you entertain, you're trying to figure out, why is this child such a quote unquote nuisance to me? Is because this child is doing what you're doing. The child is doing what you're feeding it. You know, so we got to make sure for ourselves we're actually in a position where we're still nurturing someone, and understand that we have to give positive energy, you know, when it comes to that child, because we all make mistakes, you know, but to be able to ask that question to sharpen each other, it makes a world of a difference, because you're in a place of acceptance, not competition.
Right.
You know, so it's great to even ask that question.
Nah, for real. Because that's one of those things that in our path we won't really mention that we've been at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To ask that question even remind me of when I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, seeing other people doing things that I was like, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could.
Right.
I mean, there's moments now that I still experience that. I just say that now I'm fortunate enough to accept that as motivation now, as opposed to, you know, rejecting the energy and rejecting the benefit of it. It's almost like somebody giving you, you know, nerd, like you said, feeding a child. It's like they're giving you vitamins and minerals, but you're rejecting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the benefits is right there before you, and you're rejecting it. And I see a lot of situations where I wish I could do that. I just rejected some of the best nourishment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just did it. And I'm lucky enough to be able to catch myself sometimes. And when I feel like that, I just take that energy and I do other things with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go searching. I ask questions like you just did. Bro, you'll never know how that could turn things around and really put you on the path. You know what I mean? Like, that was a dope question. I can't lie.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's just a point, like even with Off the Bench Global, and one of the purpose of Off the Bench Global, there's a time that we sit on the bench, we watch the game, we then when it's time for us to play and perform, we seen the atmosphere. We set the atmosphere. We can actually pick it up, and we can get involved. That's just a sports aspect of it. But there's a lot of things in life that you come off the bench. When it comes to the courtroom, when it comes to different things that you're facing. So we want to make sure that on Off the Bench Global, we're staying focused, and we are actually I'm thankful, Gabe, for you to even have this conversation with me.
Man.
And we interview each other, and we have this forum, with everybody being involved, because, I know this was a little lengthy, but, that's the love that we have. We're going to take our time. We don't want to rush something that's important to you when it comes to a death in the family, when it comes to, just life things, not just a physical death, but a spiritual death as well. So we love you, bro, and we just wanted you to know that in Off the Bench Global and Defiant, we love you, we love our audience. We want to just take our time and really communicate with you guys, and thank you again for tuning in for Off the Bench Global. You guys stay focused, stay blessed. This may be a 2-part series on YouTube, but you make sure that you're focused, and go to YouTube, subscribe to our channel, like it. This is a part of many.
Man, and I want to say this too, man. I appreciate this platform for holding this space, for this type of exchange and this type of creativity and this type of, conversation. Because at the end of the day, like, we don't really get to really exchange like this on a regular basis with just anybody. So, it takes a special platform, a special group of people, a special mission and assignment and purpose to even allow for things like this to take place and to happen. Like, this studio been running right now for over a year, and to have a conversation like this come through, it took that kind of influence, it took that kind of energy, it took that kind of platform to really come in and create the space for it. Like literally, a space was created and held for this right now, because it's never been done this way in this room on this time, with this intent. So that's definitely dope, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, any time that you actually have a car, you want to take it on the highway and blow it out. You better blow it out before it get congestion.
Yeah.
So, and then it causes more problems in the car.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to blow it out.
Yeah.
So this is a opportunity for us all to actually have a conversation. There's so much talent in this room, so much gifts in this room, right now. And I'm excited to hear about you, and what we can do. I'm learning.
Yeah.
And that's my motivation. I'm still learning. And I love you again. We're Off the Bench Global. Y'all stay tuned.